Hello, this is Patricia, and this is the Patricia Fuqua Show. And tonight we're going to do a reading about love, and the show is going to be about love and other topics. We're going to connect it with divination. Later on, you'll meet our guest, Joseph Ernest Martin, who is an author and a designer of tarot cards. And I do believe that we have someone on the line, on the phone. Juanica? Is Juanica out there?
Yes, hello.
Hello.
Yes. Is Joseph Martin there?
Yes, he is. And we are going to introduce Joseph, and he is going to be talking to you as well about this whole situation or whatever question that you have. So, but I'd love to introduce him so that other people can know about him as well. So, Joseph, welcome.
Well, thank you.
It's so good to have you here.
It's wonderful to be here.
Yes. And I see that you have someone out there today who would love to talk to you. So let's go ahead and give them an opportunity.
Okay, wonderful.
Okay, so Juanica?
Yes, hello, Joseph.
Hello.
I was curious. I've been a widow for a year, and I was wondering if anybody new and exciting would be coming into my life in the near future.
Well, that's really a great question. And, I've been reading now for about, 17 and a half years. And by far, hands down, the most popular question is love, hands down. So why don't we lay a few cards and see what comes up in love for you. What I'm doing right now, just so you know, is I'm counting out for your name. The first thing I want to tell you where love is concerned, especially in the future for you, is, well, I guess I'm going to say it this way. You have the Six of Cups, which is love, happiness in the self position. So this says already that you're the sort of person who is very loving, who is open to love, is open to new relationship and ideas. The energy around this, though, is a little bit different, but it's going to be transforming for you also. It shows the Ten of Cups success reversed in the past position. And so, as you just said, being a widow about a year ago, this card would reflect the breaking up of home or love around home in the recent past. Crowning you is the Seven of Wands, courage. And so this says, the first thing it says to you is to be courageous in your approach to new love in your life. This kind of card message says to go out, to be present, to be around people, to show courage in approaching someone you find interesting. Your outcome card here is actually your best card in this set, next to, of course, the Six of Cups, happiness. And that is the Two of Wands, which says about rejoining with someone in front of what you've created, the relationship, and going forward together. So if I were just to look at those four cards for you in this brief time we have right now, I'd have to tell you that your future cards say that you will be finding love and you will be having new love in your life again. Now, I know it's only been a year, so it may seem a little bit short time right now. But again, all you have to do is show courage, be present. And I kind of think of that card too as you must be present to win. And when you're present, that love is going to step up and find you.
Thank you.
Well, very good. Thank you, Joseph. Now, Joseph, I would like to know, you mentioned that you have been in doing tarot for about 17 and a half years.
Yes.
So why 17 and a half years?
Well,
you're obviously not 18 years old.
Oh, God bless you. Well, I started this from a very skeptical place. I really did. Mm-hmm. My grandmother, when I was growing up, exhibited a lot of psychic ability herself, much more in the healing arts. She would touch people and heal them. But she also knew who was going to be calling on the phone. She also knew who was going to be walking by the front window. Mm-hmm. And even when I was in college one time, the phone rang and she looked right at me and said, you know, don't let him borrow your car. So I said, who is this? It's one of my friends. And he says, I want to borrow your car to go out of town. I look at my grandmother. She's shaking her head no. And I said, no. But then I said to him, did you talk to my grandmother earlier? And he said, no, this is the first time I've called. So those kind of experiences with my own grandmother happen quite often.
I see. So it just kind of passed down through the genes.
I think it did.
Okay. Now that explains how you might have a psychic, intuitive bent to your
Yes.
personality, but it doesn't explain how you got into the cards. So what happened there?
Well, you know, again, I kind of was, you know, skeptical. I like being scientific about things and things that, you know, work, tried or true. So I actually, at one time, I thought, I really feel compelled to have a reading. And someone said, I know this great reader. Her name's Clarice. I want you to go see her. I went to see her, and she did a wonderful job in the reading, but still, I was skeptical. So I called her for lunch, and we got to know each other. And over the course of 3 years, I got to see things firsthand that I could not explain other than there's something else amazing happening in the world.
Ah. Other than what the scientists say.
Yes, other than.
Yes.
And she encouraged me to get my first tarot deck and to start using it and practicing with it, which I did.
And the rest is history.
Yeah, I guess the rest is history.
Well, you have been working at the fairs, and we have some fairs coming up the last part of the year, Fresno, Ventura, and I noticed that you have your own deck.
Yes.
So how long have you had your own deck?
Well, you know, this is almost 4 years old now from when it first came out. It came out on the market. The publisher's Llewellyn, and of course it's the Quest Tarot. It's actually very it's a very different kind of tarot deck. It has more cards than a standard deck. It has certain innovations that aren't in other kind of decks, and well, and actually, it just won Best New Age Interactive Product of the Year, the Visionary Award of Excellence.
Terrific.
I'm really, I'd wear it as a hat if I thought I could get away with it. That's the truth.
I might see you with a hat with those colors sometime. We have Mary on the line. Mary, do you have a question?
Yes. I was wondering if Mr. Martin does phone readings.
Yes, actually. I have clients from all over the country, and I read for them via long distance on the phone lines all the time. It works really just about the same, a phone reading, as it does in person, because the energy is present whether we're close in proximity or whether we're over the distance of a phone line.
Cool.
So yes, I'm available that way also.
So Mary, does that answer your question?
Yes, it does. Thank you.
All right, great. Let's go on to John. John, what's your question? John?
Yes,
Do you have a question of our guest, Joseph Martin?
yes, I do. I'm going to be moving out of town real soon here, and I'm just wondering if that's a good thing for me to do. It's going to be wise for me to move. I'm kind of nervous about it.
Okay, well, we're going to look at that for you. The first thing I want to say is, that's a good question to ask about a move, because it's an important change in your life. Things change, energies change, directions change. Where we put our direct intent, our intention about what we want to create, that's where energy flows. My teachers used to say all the time, where attention goes, energy flows. And so just the fact that you're making this move shows a really good energy break in the future for you. I want to tell you that it's kind of an interesting set of cards in relationship to a move. And so you'll have to forgive me for saying it this way, but the first thing I want to say is, no matter how good it is you may think you are at this moment, this says that you have yet to reach your full potential. And that's the Mother of Wands, a creator card reversed. It says you have potential to be very powerful in not only this move, but in your own life. The Eight of Cups failure is in the past position here. And so what I would say to you also is, if you want to do therapy later, go ahead. But during this move process, leave the past in the past.